Welcome back from spring break, everyone. This is Mrs. Straub, and we are going to be starting our fourth unit of this course, and it's Classical Civilizations, and we're going to be focusing on these four classical civilizations: India, China, Greece, and Rome. So you'll recall from Unit 2 when we did ancient civilizations. We talked about India and China, so we're going to revisit those areas, and we're also going to look for the first time at Greece and Rome. So the goals for this lesson for you is what I'm looking for you to be able to do by the end of this lesson is to identify the four major civilizations of the classical era, be able to distinguish between the ancient civilizations and the classical by identifying what sets them apart from each other. Also, use geographical knowledge and I forgot. Alright, you're also going to use geographical knowledge to locate and identify trade routes and trade networks. So those are your goals for this lesson. By the end of this lesson, if you can ask yourself these questions, put these goals in a question format, and if you can answer those questions, then you're in really good shape. Our next slide shows you a series of vocabulary words and definitions. These are important for this whole unit. So this is something that you could copy and paste or copy down on a separate sheet of paper, type into your own document and save these words. But this is something that you should come back to and review over the course of this unit, the next 2 weeks. So the word achievement is an outstanding thing done successfully, typically by effort, courage, or skill. A belief system is a set of ideas and practices that help explain the origins of life, what happens after people die, and how to live a good life. All religions are belief systems, but not all belief systems are religions. Collapse is a verb, and it means to break down or become weak. A dynasty is a noun. It's a series of rulers from the same family or group. You probably heard the word dynasty in Unit 2 when we talked about ancient civilizations. An empire is a group of once separate areas ruled by a single person or government. Geographic feature, naturally occurring landform, body of water, or ecosystem, like a lake, a river, an ocean. Government is the group of people that has power to make laws and important decisions for a community, state, or nation. Invade is a verb, to enter like an army. Power is a noun, the ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or what happens. Trade is very important for you to understand what trade means for this unit. It's a verb. It means to exchange something for something else. It can also be used as a noun, the act of exchanging something for something else. Unify, to bring together as a single unit. And wealth, a lot of valuable possessions or money. We're also going to be looking at a couple other words later on in this lesson. So when was the classical era? We've previously talked about the ancient era or ancient civilizations. Now we're moving forward in time and we're talking about the classical era or the classical period or the classical age. And I'm looking right here. So the classical era is identified as 600 BCE, so that's before Common Era or before Christ, to 900 CE, Common Era. So this is a period of time in which complex civilizations expanded to establish large land empires, and were more interconnected through trade than earlier civilizations. So this is key. When we talked about earlier civilizations, like India, China, Mesopotamia, and ancient Egypt, those civilizations were not interconnected with each other. So Egyptians didn't trade with Mesopotamians. Your project that you did, your texting project, supports this. Even though we created a fictional situation with your texting project, where you created two characters that text back and forth and talk to each other that way. That actually didn't happen in history. And hopefully I made it very clear to you that an ancient Egyptian teenager did not visit their teenager friend in Mesopotamia. Okay, that didn't happen. But now what we see in the classical era is civilizations like Rome and Greece and India and China are interconnected, meaning you have people from China traveling to India, to Rome, to trade goods and exchange ideas and religion. So these civilizations made great contributions to our collective learning as a result of golden ages marked by prosperity. A golden age is marked by prosperity in a civilization. Most of the major belief systems that still impact our world were established during this time. So we're going to be seeing things in this lesson, belief systems, culture, technology that impacts our world today. We would not have the technology today if it hadn't been for these classical civilizations. So over here is a timeline of human history. We start with ancient history, 10,000 BCE to 630 CE. So we've done this period. This is ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, Indus River Valley. Now we're moving here to classical era. And the classical era civilizations are here. Classical India, China, Greece, and Rome. In our future units, before we're done with this course, we are going to talk about post-classical era, the early modern period, and that's pretty much where we'll end. But achievements, looking down here again to this chart, in ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, the Indus River Valley, and China, what did they achieve? This should be familiar to you. They achieved writing, irrigation. They planned out their city. And their fuel source was the sun. During the classical period in India, China, Greece, and Rome, their achievements include applied mathematics, astronomy, cartography, which is map drawing. Here we see images of the classical age on the next couple slides. This is the Parthenon in Athens, Greece. So look at the architecture, look at the carvings on the columns, the decorations up here. It's all carved in stone. And this is a sign of the classical era. This is a map of the Silk Roads. We're going to be talking about the Silk Roads and how the Silk Roads interconnected these classical civilizations. The Silk Roads in Asia, so this is China, Tibet, India. The Silk Roads in Asia, these were crucial for trade, travel during war to transport troops and armies. Here's another image of classical China. One of the first representations of the Buddha. Here is the Great Wall of China, the only human-made structure that can be seen from space. You can see how it snakes all around for miles. And you're going to learn about an emperor in your next lesson that was very significant in connecting different pieces of the wall and making it all connected into one large wall. We're going to learn about him in a bit. All right, so in the Edpuzzle, I'm going to ask you to review a little bit. Your first task is to, using the information from the lesson, write one sentence describing what the classical era is and when it occurred. I'm going to have you do that now. Now your second task is to make a list of characteristics that make a civilization classical. So go back into the video if you need to and make a list of characteristics. A good list should be at least 3 to 5. So at least 3 characteristics listed. Do that in the Edpuzzle now.